Hello, beauties, again, recording this transmission from Bora Bora. That is Otomanu, one of the most powerful vortexes I've experienced in my life. It's such a powerful group of islands, French Polynesia, and I'm always so grateful to be here. I talked about them a few times in some of the recordings I'm doing from here. So pop on over to some of those other videos when you get a moment. So now I wanted to have a transmission filled chat with you about the difference between the play I do in the world and how it relates to what you might be looking for in your life. In terms of, do I work with a coach? Do I work with a guide? Do I, what? There's so much noise out there. What is it that would serve me? Would be the question to ask yourself. As I present something in my play in the world, powerfully, I'm carving out something that I needed or need not need, but that I found myself really yearning for. And inside of that, started looking in the world for what I was yearning for in terms of my own growth and my own soul expansion. And I couldn't find it. So hence I'm creating it. And what it is the difference between, I was a coach, quote unquote, life coach for years. I actually started, some of you might have heard my story, but I'm 40 years plus in the soul expansion, optimal wellness, sacred journey woman journey. Done a lot of the more masculine based methodologies and workshops, and sat in rooms for hours and hours and hours, rooms as in like hotel conference rooms with PowerPoint presentations. I worked with coaches before they were even called coaches. Just a lot of, because it was my passion, it is my passion, this whole realm. I was interested in everything and consumed and continued to experience a lot of different methodologies. But what I realized about 3 years ago was that, and really this is when my shift occurred in my, what I will call my, I never use the word awakening, because for me, awakening happens when we're born. We awaken into the experience of this realm that we agreed to come in and experience as souls. So for me, it's much more about new levels of awareness. So when I reached this new level of awareness that the coaching industry and coaching in and of itself is a very masculine paradigm, goal seeking, goal getting, all very worthwhile pursuits. But I had gotten my goals. I had seeked and I had received, and actually not received, I'd gotten. What was missing was the divine feminine in my life, was the womb-like nature of receivership. I was very much in doing, and really in my marriage, there was a huge dark night of the soul, because I had taken on so much of the masculine energy in my marriage that the feminine had no chance to rise. And I had created with my gorgeous partner, we had created this amazing life, yet I was still in the hamster wheel. And all that aside, so I everything I'm talking about is from experience. I've experienced and therefore can share so relevantly because I've lived it. I've lived it, the getting and proving and goal making, etc. And it wasn't until I had the crash in my own personal life and then this shift where I realized that where we as in the divine feminine energy, remember, there's no the masculine and the feminine, the divine masculine, the divine feminine can live within all of us, but we've lived for so long revering the divine, the masculine energy and suppressing the divine feminine. I'm a stand for the arising of the divine feminine in us so that we can truly be what people call at balance or at integration. So in the rise of the divine feminine, what I was wanting to experience is someone who could see me and be shoulder to me on the path, not like tell me what to do, give me the 5 tips, 7 strategies for, based on, by the way, their systems. And systems always come from people's wounds. You know, you create a system because something didn't work in your life. So you create a system to make it work. And those are all beautiful things, but they're all from a divinely masculine, or I should say more of a masculine or the patriarchal formulation. The feminine, when I was pregnant 3 times, I didn't have a system. Now my body had a remembrance that it, uploaded and downloaded from what is called the morphogenic field, or, a field of information, but I didn't have a checklist. I did have an intention to have beautiful children and create a family. But in terms of what my body, how it did it, all I did was get out of the way and maintain my vessel. And my vessel, my body, as best as I could, to be a receptor, to be in receivership of this beautiful creation called a child. So why am I going down that tunnel? It's because what came through was this realm called guiding, being a guide for someone, because that's what I wanted for me. I wanted a guide versus someone who was in some kind of seat that they knew better than I and were going to give me their systems. What I wanted was being held, like you probably heard the term being space holding, so that my, what I call intuitive mystical gifts could be accessed with my own inner awareness. So when you're held by a guide, and in the way that I have formulated, I call it sacred feminine guiding, you're being held in such a powerful way that it's like being held by the womb. The womb is like the ultimate in the divine feminine. The womb is like the ultimate cauldron. It's the ultimate cauldron for creation. And you're being held and seen and celebrated. And it's a shoulder to shoulder experience. And inside of that, what's really, really important about this distinction is that there is mentorship, there is teaching, there are distinctions, there's content to get, especially in the bioenergetic science realm, which I teach, that we are energy. And that at being energy beings, we have 7 energy centers within our bodies. My particular way of guiding with the bioenergetic with biogenic medicine and science is that there's 5 energy centers. Some say there's 22, but I go with 12, 5 outside of the body, and those fields of energy actually are responsible for creating the feedback for our 7 energy centers or chakras inside of our body. So there's things to learn. There's things that devotionally have to be practiced. Meditation, embodiment through mostly yoga, but I don't mean like taking yoga for exercise. I mean, as in the 8 limbs of yoga. There are things to be guided and understand. Just like if I were to walk up a mountain up to altitude, there's some equipment I would need. There's some things I would definitely need to learn and be taught by that guide, so I didn't fall off the mountain or fall off the cliff, or, you know, not make it up into the altitude, to use that example. So there is, there are things, quote unquote, to do, but it's from uh, cosmic law, universal principles, natural law, natural principles, to glean from those content filled distinctions so that you are equipped in your 7 energy centers and outside those energy centers to be able to hold the next levels of what are referred to as frequencies, which are just fields of new information to come in. So guiding is a powerful, unique, it's, I'm trying to find the word. I'm going to say new, but kind of that's in the polarity, new, old. It's kind of could be the flip side of the same thing. So, you know, it's on the edge. Guiding is on the edge of creating a new way of working with people, especially women. I have created a certification to certify in this realm where you're learning all the principles based in cosmic and natural laws to cross-pollinate and utilize with your play with women. So, you know, whether you're a therapist or healer or coach, or, you know, all the principles apply so that you are guiding your clients, or whatever you call them, I call them goddesses, in a way that is revolutionary. So guiding is, make no mistakes about it, it's a revolution. It's a revolutionary shift. That's the term. Finally, I just found it. Revolutionary shift in how to create true transformation and transmutation and frequency upgrades for people, you know, people that you're working with, your clients, or the people that you love and have around you. So I just wanted to distinguish this really exciting realm that, you know, I'm still finding the words for, because anything that is worth, in my world, anything that is worth spending a lot of time and effort and commitment from a devotional point of view, you know, learning about, being inside of a structure of, should be revolutionary. Because that's what's exciting, like being on the edge of you know, this next tier, because again, there's so much noise. So I'm hoping that this is useful for you. If you have any questions, respond with comments or in the reply section. You know, I do intuitive guiding one-on-one sessions. We can jump on the phone and I can, you know, further distinguish this realm, this really exciting, powerful realm called sacred feminine guiding. So until we connect again, remembering always, you are goddess.